Well, another former Tory leader, Iain Duncan Smith, joins us now. What was your reaction to what John Major had to say?
To be fair, I hadn't actually listened to it till I had to see the clips. Well, two things really. My reaction.
Hang on a moment. Why
Exactly.
did you not have listened to it?
To be fair, I had a whole set of meetings that I was in to do with my Centre for Social Justice. So forgive me. I knew I wasn't.
That you chose not to listen.
No. I just was. I had to go back and then start looking at this clip. So my reaction was fine, okay. I do recall this is also the same man that lectured everybody up about not interfering in his successors. You know, he got fed up with Mrs. Thatcher interfering with him, and he's now having a go at her. But the other bit about the vote, look, essentially, it is essentially a free vote because you've seen rebellions and all that sort of stuff and nothing really happens to anybody. So the answer is we are not in that thing. When I was in...
Can I just explain, for the viewers, the difference that a free vote, because I think lots of people would just assume that any vote that an MP casts in the House of Commons is up to them. But of course, this is the differences between a free vote and one that you have been told to cast a certain way by your party.
Well, I don't want to get into technicalities, but it's very simple. Parties are elected into government, and when they're elected into government, they're elected on a manifesto. So anything that's really related to what they said they would do, it's the government then says, OK, this is what we were elected to do, therefore you should support it because you were elected on that platform.
Part of the problem at the moment is that in Theresa May's party, there are huge numbers of backbench MPs who didn't vote for Brexit and therefore are going to be in a very difficult position when it comes to voting for a deal that they may think would leave the country
But actually,
poorer.
there aren't huge numbers. It's a reasonably small number. The vast majority are quite content about it. But look,
no, but there are huge numbers of backbenchers who didn't vote for Brexit.
Yes, but also at the same time, there's actually only a small number who now simply may not accept it or want to do something different. The point about this, though, is that it's not really relevant because, you know, I've rebelled in the past. You do. People think my conscience is more important than my party allegiance, and I've done it, and I have full respect for those who do it as well. But I was just a little bit irked to hear John Major this, because when I was during the Maastricht debates, you know, they cracked the whip like nothing on earth.
There wasn't a free vote
for
you.
Not just not free, people lost the whip. In other words, they were cast out from the party if they voted against. So I find it a little rich. The Prime Minister lectures about being nice and kind and cuddly, when in actual fact, it was pretty brutal. I had people spitting outside the lobbies when I walked through once when I voted against the government. Passions run high, and people were not happy. So I just think it would be nice if he had been a little bit more... or if he had his memory, wasn't quite so curtailed about the way he behaved when he was Prime Minister.
Regardless of that, he's very passionate about this. I mean, he described it as not only grand folly, but it's also bad politics. And somebody in his position who has obviously been a Prime Minister and leader of the party would feel like he has a duty to try and push the cause and the case for that side of the argument.
I don't have any problem with him making a speech saying that he doesn't want us to leave. He never did. He's argued against it, and that's fine. The one bit, you know, I'm not going to get into this, you know, this is a...
He wants a second referendum.
Politics is a rough old game. He wants a second referendum. I don't believe in that. That's not democracy. You ask the British people, they made a decision, you have to deliver on it. I think if you keep going back just because you don't like the result, what you end up with is the establishment, you know, the people that govern somehow saying, do you know what, you're too stupid, we don't think that you know what you're doing, therefore we're going to hold it again until you get the right decision.
Or you're intelligent enough to decide whether the deal we have negotiated as a government is the deal you felt that you voted for when you voted to leave.
But we do have a thing called parliamentary democracy. You go to a referendum for a decision of the public as to tell us this is what we want to do, and then Parliament has to sort it out, what kind of deal it is, and then we get it. If we keep on going back, we're never going to stop, by the way. And I have to say, knocking on doors, nobody wants that other referendum.
If you believe in parliamentary democracy, why did we put it out for a direct vote?
Well, because it was such a big issue that this could not be settled in Parliament. That was the reason why it was done. In fact, we asked for a referendum.
It hasn't even been settled in a referendum.
But we asked for a referendum back at the time of Maastricht. We said, this is such a big issue, why don't we go to the public on that, just to ask them, and we were refused that referendum, by the way. So he now wants another referendum, but he didn't want a referendum.
Was it the right decision to refuse the referendum back then, do you think? Was the right decision to come to?
I thought it was such a big issue about the direction of travel in Europe changed at Maastricht massively. I had voted to join European Union, and I thought at Maastricht we were going in the wrong direction, centralising, too much autocracy, end of democracy, that kind of stuff. So I came round to being opposed to being a member following Maastricht.